Hello everybody, my name is Kador. Welcome to the second music collection update video thing that I'm doing here. I'm assuming you watched my vinyl update thing that I did. If you didn't, then watch that, I guess, after this one. But today we'll be talking about all my cassette tapes, and then the third video that I'll do later on, probably finish this weekend or something, will be CDs. And then that'll be pretty much everything I have in my music collection. So we'll have to wait till probably sometime this summer for me to do another one of these. But I encourage you to stick around until then if you like these types of videos. I also want to thank WyattXM for subscribing to my channel. Thanks, man. I mentioned that he's one of the main inspirations behind me even doing these videos in the first place. In the other video that I did, I said that, and yeah, he subscribed, so that was really cool. I mean, I kind of shamelessly self-advertised in the comments section of his latest video, but, sometimes that's what has to be done. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start with chronological order and tape collection. So to start things off here, we have Orient with Bermuda Drain. Now, this doesn't have the J card in it, because I'm using the J card as a binder cover right now for my binder for school, because it folds out into this cool poster, and I'll kind of take it out so you can see it better. It's sort of like a tiny poster, but yeah, it folds out into this little thing, which is neat. Like this, just cool collage art. So yeah, the actual cover is here, and then the rest of this is lyrics and whatnot. There's a little poem called Wheel of God down there. Listen on headphones at night while driving through tunnels in Europe. I mean, if I'm ever in Europe driving through tunnels at night, I will certainly listen to this on headphones. But, yeah. Anyway, this is one of my favorite albums of all time. Straight up, I love Orient, but, this album is one of my favorites from him. So, yeah. I don't even know how to describe it. If you know Orient, I'm sure you know this album. But it just blends so many styles of, synth pop, black metal, noise, industrial, ambient, techno, freaking progressive synth, kind of new age. It just blends all of that together, and I love it. I think it's so amazing. I showed it to a friend, and he said that it was the worst thing he's ever heard. So I guess not everyone agrees with that, but I personally love it. So yeah, the reason I got the tape version of this is because the B side has some demos on it of the original material, and also some stuff from Times Arrow, and just some completely unreleased stuff as well. And I couldn't find it anywhere online, so I just thought I would kind of get that. I mean, it's really bad quality and all that. It's super lo-fi and just horrible sounding, and Dom sounded like he's kind of drunk or something. His vocal performances are terrible in that, but it's still pretty cool to listen to, just to see kind of where these tracks came from initially. Next up is a fun one. This is Dustbelt with Movements of Venus. Now, I can tell you I pretty much got this entirely for the packaging. You'll see in a minute why this is so cool. I mean, you can already kind of tell it's pretty different from a normal cassette release here, but yeah, I'd heard some Dustbelt material before, and I didn't really love it. I just thought it was okay, but I mean, this wasn't online, and also the packaging just sounded so cool that I felt like I might as well get it. So, first of all, it's in this hand-painted box, so it's just splattered with blue paint, just hand-painted, each copy, that's pretty cool. I guess it was initially sealed here, though I got it on Discog, so the seal's broken, but yeah, so then you open the box, and inside there's this hospital production sticker. There's 2 cassettes, and there's also these sticks. There's just straight up 2 sticks inside. I don't know why. They're just sticks. It's pretty cool though. I like it. It's just really interesting packaging. So yeah. And also the funny thing is it's on 2 cassettes, but they're both C10s, so there's just 5 minutes on each side for a total of 20 minutes, and they decided to split that into 2 cassettes. I guess just to give it a reason to put in this box. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, pretty neat. Also, it comes with these cool like inserts with like photos and whatnot. So yeah, there's like a tiger, dead Nazi, best kind of Nazi, bit of a horse and soldier statue dude, some like Aztec ruins. And the pictures seem kind of random, but you know, it fits with the label. It's all very cryptic and mysterious, which I love. More kind of like dead ruins sort of thing. More tigers. I guess it's like a leopard. I don't know. But yeah, it's sort of like it looks like it's taken out of a magazine or something because there's like bits of text. Yeah, more of these sort of saber-toothed tiger skulls and whatnots on this page. These like masked people and pile of dead bodies. Yay! Happy fun time music. Okay, but yeah, the actual music on this album is it's just like really abstract, kind of creepy electronics mixed with like field recordings and yeah, it's all pretty like sparse and like lo-fi. You can't really tell what's happening really. It's not very gripping music, to be honest, but whatever, it's kind of interesting. The last track here is pretty cool, and they're named interesting things. Like the sun rose and petrified the animals. So, anyway, I just thought this was a really cool release just because of the packaging. It's just a neat, like, collector's item to have. Next up is a very special one. This is Matmos with, like all men of the library, I have traveled in my youth. And, so I got this at the High Zero Festival in Baltimore, Maryland, which is basically a festival of experimental improvised music where people kind of just get together and jam and just do weird abstract kind of music and sound art. And one half of the people from Matmos, who, if you don't know, are kind of just like they're experimental electronic kind of duo that just do kind of fun, weird music based on samples and stuff. I don't know, they're pretty creative, but anyway, one of the dudes from Matmos was kind of like heading the whole thing, and so they had some of their tapes for sale there, and I got this because just with a quick search I couldn't find it anywhere online, and you know, I kind of like Matmos, I don't love them, but they're okay, so I just figured I'd pick it up. And there's this neat like poem on front, or not really poem, but just like excerpt from some book, I don't know. Yeah, so I picked it up and I brought it home, and I was going to look up on Discogs to see like, you know, more information about it. And there's nothing on Discogs, and there's almost never nothing on Discogs. Like, there's a Discogs page for like everything, and I just searched it on Google, and like nothing came up. Like, there's no trace of this thing online anywhere. So I made a Discogs page personally, and there's like one other person on there that says that he has it. So I guess I'm not the only one that has this. But as far as I'm concerned, like, there's only 2 copies of this in the world. There's no limitation on it, and it's just nowhere. There's like no trace of it online. So it's really rare, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll kind of show you it. And it's weird because on the cassette, there's actually a different title. It says, "As a young man, I traveled the library," and the other one's like all men of the library, I've traveled in my youth. So it's a bit different. I don't know. Yeah, there's a J card, folds out here, it's blank on the other side, but it basically just has little descriptions for every track. Yeah. It's kind of like a compilation of a bunch of remixes and just like one-off tracks that they made for compilations and whatnots. It doesn't even really say a label, it just says like a Megaphone cassette special, and that's kind of the only like technical information on here. The title is taken from The Library of Babel by George Louis Borges. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. There's a guy that messaged me on Discogs saying he really wanted this, but I didn't feel like trading things away at this point just because I'm so early on in my collection. But I feel like this is like really rare, and I could probably get a lot for selling this. And I mean, the music on this is all over the place. Like, it goes from just kind of like weird, bouncy, you know, techno type stuff to just like completely abstract kind of sound collage, music concrete type stuff. So it's not a very consistent listen, and I can't say I love it, but it's just a cool item to have because it's like so unheard of. Like, and Matmos are not like an underground band really. Like, I mean, they've been reviewed by like mainstream, you know, review channels and whatnot, like the Needle Drop and, you know, sites like Pitchfork and whatnot. Like, they've covered them, so they're not like completely obscure, but this is just nowhere to be found. So that's pretty neat. So these next 4 I got at the Hospital Productions 20th anniversary show, along with this hoodie. Hospital Productions is Prurient's label. Yeah, love Prurient, love the label. It's great. And the show was fantastic as well. That was such a great experience. I got to see everyone except for Godflesh, the headliners, because they went really late, and I just had to leave before them. But anyway, yeah, so I went to the merch table. I'll just kind of show these off in alphabetical order. I got 4 tapes. So the first one here is Godflesh, Post-Self. This is actually a free thing that they handed out just for being kind of early to the merch table. So yeah, I just kind of got handed this. I wasn't going to buy it because I'm not really... I mean, I haven't really listened to Godflesh's music. I can't say I'm not a fan. I mean, I just haven't really, listened to much of their stuff. But yeah, I mean, the stuff in here is pretty good. I like the B-side a lot better than the A-side. The B-side has a lot more, like, varying material and a lot just more kind of melodies, and I don't know, it just feels a lot more emotive and stuff to me. And the A-side is more just standard industrial metal kind of. But yeah, at least for the B-side, I'm glad I got this. And J-card folds out into a Godflesh, and this kind of thing, just showing track list. Nothing too crazy, but kind of like shiny letters. That's neat. Next one is this, which is Legeria. Beacons to be seen by the Black Oceans, live in Berlin. So I'm pretty much like a casual fan of Legeria. He makes some good dark ambience, some kind of like industrial techno, just like ambient techno kind of stuff. I mean, it's all really well made and interesting and got a nice vibe to it. So I just saw this and was like, oh, it's a new Legeria, I might as well pick it up. And it's not really new. It's more of just a live set of pre-existing material that he just like mixed together live. So it's sort of his like techno stuff. It says that it's a live performance in Berlin in an undisclosed location to a private audience, and it serves as a warm-up for one of the Hospital Production shows in Berlin. So yeah, it's just like his techno, ambient techno, industrial techno kind of stuff. It's pretty cool though. I like it. I mean, he mixed it all together, so it's still kind of its own thing. But yeah, it's got this thing on the front. Got the liner notes. I like the inside of the J card. It's just weird Hospital Productions, cryptic, cultist nonsense. I don't know if you can read any of that, but it's just kind of a picture of like, I don't even know. This is blood culture with culture spelled weird. And it's a shrine eternal with like a dead corpse. And this little like flute man playing to a snake. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool, but don't really know what it means. And then next up is Orient with Buddha Strangled in Vines, 1997. This is kind of the main reason I went to the merch table. I wanted to get this quickly because there's only like 100 copies there, so I wanted to get it before it sold out, obviously. It's Orient, and more specifically, 1997. That is the oldest Orient material that's ever been released. And it's surprisingly like well recorded. I expected it to just be like super terribly recorded, but yeah, it's. I mean, I guess it went through a remaster, but yeah, it's good. It's noise. Not much else I can say about that. Well, let me just kind of show you the whole package here. This is Doom Electronics right here, which is kind of the genre for his new album Rainbow Mirror, which I have on CD and I'll show in the next video. There's a Together side and an Alone side, and that is actually because the first track on here, Rainbow Mirror, was performed like as a group of like 3 people, and then the other tracks, Buddha Strangled in Vines, 1997, and What Will Be a Ruin, were just done alone by Dom. So there's a poem here called Behind a Name, and it talks about the rainbow mirror in it. Liner notes just showing a bunch of stuff, and there's actual like legitimate liner notes. This folds out into this whole thing, just showing like the number and all that. But yeah, this side is this entire giant write-up and a little picture of Baby Dom, I guess. I don't know. He's like covered in like meat. I don't even But yeah, it's just a giant story of basically how Orient and Hospital Productions were started, and like the first live performance, and just some of the early like Orient recordings and stuff, which is really cool to read for someone who's a diehard fan like I am. Yeah, and it's just like really comprehensive, and yeah, it's just pretty cool for the true fan. So yeah, and the material, it's like so it's like spoken word poetry from like some little kid. He sounds really young. One of the dudes in the Together side, and then a bunch of noise over top of that poetry, and yeah, and then What We Will Ruin is just noise, feedback, distortion, all that for the whole thing, and then What Will Be a Ruin is just sort of like loop, distorted, low end kind of drones, just like very kind of, I don't know, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's good. I mean, it's good for noise, you know, but it's nothing blowing me away. But it's good. I'm glad I have it, especially for the liner notes. Neat stuff. And the last thing I got there was Bed of Nails. This is a various artist compilation. Well, the label's Bed of Nails. Bed of Nails Compound is the label, and it's actually like a sub-label to Hospital Productions that he released like 8 things on and then never did anything else with. But it's called Cities Outlined in Chalk, and it's just a C20. So like, you know, around 4 to 5 minute songs from 4 different artists, 2 of which are actually done it for now. In that being Christian Cosmos and Vatican Shadow, and those are the best ones, honestly. But inside is just this cool little thing. I think I took a photo of this, and it's my channel banner right now for my YouTube channel. So yeah, this is limited to 50 copies, which is the main reason I got it. It's not online, and it's like 50 copies. I mean, it's $10, but you know, I figured it was my only chance to listen to this material, and I'm glad I did, because yeah, Christian Cosmos is just a beautiful ambient track, really well made. Vatican Shadow, I mean, it's like really good Vatican Shadow material. I don't know what to say with that, but it's just classic Vatican Shadow, really good. Mirrored Hall is kind of boring. I think it's Luxuria, actually. Mirrored Hall is like another alias of his. And then Dual Action, one of his better tracks, so I don't really like Dual Action generally. Alright, and all the rest of these I got at my giant haul at Skeleton Dust Records. If you missed the first video where I talked all about that store, it's awesome. Go to it if you like underground experimental music and all that. But yeah, I got like 6 tapes there, 7 maybe. So I'll just show them off in alphabetical order here. The first one is Brutum Fulmen with 1000 Suns. I heard Brutum Fulmen because of the 5 LP New England box set that I showed in the other video. And I really like this material in there. It's really well made music concrete, sound collage stuff. And I looked to his website for the noiseician.com is his website for kind of the description to this release. And it's a really interesting concept behind it that isn't actually like talked about on the actual thing, although there's a link to his website. But yeah, the paper's really cool, by the way. Like it's like recycled paper, I guess. So it's really like textured, kind of rough brown stuff. Yeah, I can barely even read the track list, but pretty neat J card there. But yeah, so the A side to this is basically just like kind of abstract, meandering, low end like synth pulses with recordings of like nuclear, like people talking about nuclear bombs and whatnot, and like nuclear power or something like that. And there's like a sample about how to use a cassette player, like a tape player at the end, which is referencing the medium that is important to this release, because on the B side it's the same material, but he like physically altered it, meaning I guess he just like scratched up the B side and just like I don't really know what he did, but he messed with the B side so that it like intentionally lowered the quality of what was copied from the A side. So the B side's the same stuff, but it has all these weird like warbles and pitch shifts and just like cutouts and sound and extra distortion and just, like weird filtering and stuff going on. So there's just all these like extra messy kind of intentionally messy kind of effects that are on there. So that's pretty cool. It's just a cool concept, I think. I mean, the music itself isn't super engaging or anything, but it's still pretty interesting. And yeah, just neat concept. Next up is the split between Facial Mess and Distant Relative. I like the art on this thing. It's pretty neat. But yeah, I didn't realize this was online actually. I probably would have gotten it if I knew that. But I got it for Facial Mess because I really like his noise. It's cut up noise, and usually it's really really clean and crisp and just like well produced, everything. And it's just like bursts of noise and harshness, but then it like subsides abruptly to just more ambient kind of drones, and he uses a lot of sounds, and it's just like very, very expert, musicianship or noiseship or whatever, noisicianship. I don't know, but I basically got it for him. Sadly, his material doesn't really hold up on this thing. I'll show you the stuff while I'm talking about this. Here's a tape. It's not horrible. It's just kind of like it's all very low end, like the way it was recorded, or just maybe because of the cassette medium. No, it's not just because of the cassette. It's the way it's recorded and whatever. It's just like very centered in like low and mid end frequencies, so it's like high bass but like no treble at all. And I think the treble is really what defines a lot of his releases and makes them sound really crisp and stuff. So I don't know why he recorded it like that. It loses a lot of its punch, but whatever. It's still pretty cool. Neat art there. Yeah, pretty simple, tiny J card, but yeah, it's okay. And then the Distant Relative side is just straight up harsh noise. I mean, it's interspersed with samples of some British dude saying random stuff. I don't know. But yeah, it's harsh noise. It's good, but it's not like super exemplary or anything. It's not super interesting. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Facial Mess has done a lot of better stuff than what he did on here, but it's still okay. It's cool to have. So next up, we have Svartnar with their demo tape. I think it came in like 2 different covers, and this is like the sort of inverted colors, so it's like more white. I actually like this a lot better. I think it's better than most of the, most black metal albums are just like black and then a little bit of white. This is like white and a little bit of black, so it's, I think it looks pretty cool. This is like the most DIY underground presentation. It's just like this standard TDK, like store-bought tape. And also, it says D90. I assume that means that there's like 90 minutes on here, and he uses about 15 of those, and it's only on one side, so I don't know why I did that, but yeah, pretty unprofessional, but that's what you get with the underground. I have number 5 out of 200 here. I did 200 copies. I've heard to talk about the limitations of these. Does this say for like the... No, it doesn't say for the Facial Mess Distant Relative one, but Brood and Fallman is limited to 75 copies, so that's pretty rare. Yeah, intro, blah, 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 or yeah, track list. Not very interesting J card, just kind of talks about the technical specifications. But this is really good black metal. It's really good black metal. So not much else I can say about that. I've heard people saying it's DSBM. I don't really know what DSBM is, to be honest. I know what it stands for, but like I just see it as kind of normal black metal. But yeah, I mean it's really good. What else can I say? It's like guitar tones, like really, really cool to listen to. I just love the guitar tone. For being a demo, it's surprisingly clean and crisp, but not to the point of sounding overproduced or anything. Like it still sounds kind of gritty, but it's not like raw. It's not like you can still easily hear all the different elements. Basically, is what I'm saying. So yeah, it's really good. The vocals are just really well made, performed. The melodies are all really good. It's just really solid black metal, and I definitely recommend Svartnar's stuff. Pretty good. This next one's pretty cool. This is this thing. It's in this weird packaging. It's in like a bag that's sealed. And if you look at the very bottom here, probably can't read any of that, but it says Vascular in like really small text, font size. It says Vascular Receding Stasis. So Vascular is a moniker of John Borges of Pedestrian Deposit, who makes, is under that project, some of the best noise ever. It's really, really technically well performed, just really clean, crisp, masterfully made, well composed. And this is sort of the opposite. This is where he just gets out his pure, crude, harsh wall noise frustration. I mean, it's not like pure wall noise like vomit or something. There's plenty of progression. There's plenty of, you know, sounds that kind of jump in and out. But for the most part, it is very droning, and it is very kind of monochromatic in sound, and there's no dynamics. Like, it never dips below the absolute maxed out loudness. So, yeah. And of course, it is in this cool packaging. I hate to unseal this again, because this is just like a sticker. I feel like it'll lose its wear after I do this too many times, but I'll do it for the video, alright? I'll do it for the video. So, yeah, it comes out of this bag. And, voila, you just kind of open it up. It's like this little clamshell kind of thing. So there's this cool paper with all this abstract kind of textured artwork going on. And the cassette's just kind of inside. And, yeah, really neat. So, very cool packaging on this one. And, I mean, the noise is good, too. I mean, if you like noise wall, you like this. Again, it's not like pure wall, but yeah, it's it's definitely very, I don't know, it's well made. It's noise. What more do you want? You know, it's good. There's definitely some good textures in this thing. That's all I can really say about it. Next up, we got Wince with the album Nerves, or it's a C20, so it's not really an album, but yeah, some like militaristic collage art in here. I heard just like one Wince album online before this, and I just figured I liked it enough to get the other one. It was kind of like noise wall, sort of similar to the previous release actually. It's like not pure noise wall, but it's like very wallish in sound. This is a bit different. This is a bit more variety. Here's the tape. This is actually released on Skeleton Dust Records, like the record label. So that's pretty cool. So the J card, well, it comes with this this little thing. It's like this art, and it says Wince, Nerves, SkeletonDustRecordings.com. But yeah, it opens up into this situation, showing the track list, and on the other side, more art. Yeah, let's see, this is a bit more varied. Each track is kind of different. So the first track is sort of just like junk metal, you know, scrapings and bashings, just junk metal recordings. That's a bit distorted. The second track is kind of the same thing, but a lot more distorted, so it's more like a wall. And then the third track on the B-side is, I'm trying to remember, I think it's just more like kind of just abstract harsh noise. There's a bunch of different sounds that come in and out, just, yeah, messing with electronics and just creating, yeah, a bunch of varied kind of noise. It's good. It's nothing, you know, breaking any records or anything, but it's definitely some quality noise. Unless that is an oxymoron, in which case it is low quality noise. But no, it's good. Next up, we have Window with Burn Through. I just heard like one track from these guys online, and I really liked it for some reason. I don't think it was even a track on this album, because I didn't recognize it when I listened to this album. I thought it was, but yeah, this is like, I don't know, it's somewhat comparable to like Bermuda Drain Orient material in a way, and just that it's sort of like synth pop instrumentals with like sort of black metal kind of screams over it, but they're not really synth pop instrumentals. Like, they use a lot of the same sounds, just kind of like basic synth sounds and drum machines and whatnot, but it is more of like a, he tries to create more of a power electronics, you know, dark kind of claustrophobic atmosphere with those sounds. So it's not like bright and happy and like really melodic and catchy sort of you know, use of those sounds. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty unique. The J card is very minimal. There's nothing on this side, and there's just that on this side. The track list and all that. This is a very short tape also. It's just like 10-15 minutes. But it's on the label Total Black, which has released some very good stuff. I need to listen to more of their material. But yeah, Window. They have one other short release like this as well that is actually online. So they're pretty cool. I didn't really like it as much as I thought I would, but I still like it, and it's still really interesting. Just, yeah, like synth and drum machine power electronics, but like not, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. There's no genre I can classify this with, but it's cool. It's interesting. And last, but certainly not least, we have this one. Really cool artwork. I love it. Really, really pretty. It's Work/Death with To the Hills of Altadena. I've actually only listened to this once. I meant to listen to this again before I did this video, because I listened to it under pretty bad conditions. There's just a lot of noise and stuff going on when I was listening to this, so I couldn't really focus on it. But from what I could tell, it was really beautiful ambient music. And I listened to some other Work/Death material, which is what prompted me to even get this in the first place. And it's just like really, really gorgeous ambient drones, basically. Here's the tape. Some more kind of artwork going on here. Nothing on the other side. It says light pollution and the view over canyons at midnight. The date stamp. Whatever that means. But yeah, I think there's like some spoken word poetry sort of in the beginning. I need to listen to this again. I should have actually listened before I did this video, but whatever. Yeah, there's some like spoken kind of poetry stuff at the beginning, and then there's just like really, really gorgeous ambient drones with like a little bit of noise, a little bit of heaviness to them, but just still very relaxing and just serene and blissful sounding. Yeah, there's some like kind of, I think there's some like weird kind of like piano notes in the second track. Yeah. Now, from what I could tell listening to this in the first time, it's just really, really gorgeous. Reminded me of Tim Hecker sometimes, but a little bit more uniform and drony, less less variety of sound, I guess. But what's there is really, really pretty. So yeah, definitely check out more of Work/Death's stuff. Very, very good. Okay, so those were all my cassettes that I have right now. Thank you for watching. This video is probably going to be pretty long. I don't think I have to separate into 2 videos though. I'll just make it kind of long, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks again, WyattXM, for subscribing. If you want to shout out this channel, kind of spread it around, that'd be real nice. Even though I won't probably be uploading too many more of these anytime soon, except for my CD video coming up next. But it's just, I love this whole YouTube community of people kind of sharing their physical music. It's really neat. It's really neat. Yeah, and it'd be cool to be part of that. But yeah, I feel like I have some interesting music to show off. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next time when I do my CD video. See ya.